Have you ever wondered what happens when fate brings two unlikely people together? What if a single moment could transform your entire life? Before we dive into this incredible story that will touch your heart, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing stories that remind us of the power of human connection. Jake Miller hadn't slept properly in days. Between his demanding job as a maintenance supervisor at Archer Tower, his 7-year-old daughter Emma's school activities, and the mountain of bills piling up since his wife's death 2 years ago, exhaustion had become his constant companion. On this particular Tuesday evening, he was working late, fixing a broken pipe on the 47th floor, the executive level that most maintenance staff rarely accessed. "Daddy, can we have pizza tonight?" Emma had asked that morning, her innocent brown eyes wide with hope. Jake had checked his wallet, finding only enough to cover gas until payday. "Maybe this weekend, princess," he'd promised, his heart breaking at the disappointment that flickered across her face. Emma never complained, but Jake knew she deserved better. He'd picked up this extra maintenance shift hoping the overtime would help bridge the gap until his next paycheck. The executive floor was eerily quiet at 9 p.m. Jake worked methodically, focusing on the leak that had damaged part of the wall between the executive bathroom and the adjacent office. According to the work order, the office belonged to none other than Sophia Archer herself, CEO of Archer Industries and one of the richest women in the country. Jake had never seen her in person, though her face was plastered across business magazines and company newsletters. As he removed part of the damaged wall panel, a sliver of light caught his attention. Through a small crack, he could see into the private executive bathroom. Before he could look away, the door inside opened, and Sophia Archer walked in. Jake froze, knowing he should announce his presence, but the words caught in his throat as he witnessed something no tabloid had ever captured. The formidable CEO wasn't in her usual power suit. Instead, she was changing from her business attire into comfortable clothes, but what struck Jake wasn't her state of undress, it was the tears streaming down her face as she slumped against the wall, sliding to the floor in apparent despair. The woman known for her steel resolve and icy demeanor was breaking down completely. "It's all falling apart," she whispered to herself, unaware she was being observed. "Everything I've built, and for what? An empty penthouse and not a single person who would notice if I disappeared tomorrow." Jake knew he should leave or make his presence known, but something in her vulnerability held him in place for just a moment longer, long enough to hear her next words. "God, I'd give it all away just to have what that maintenance man has." Jake accidentally shifted his weight, causing a creak in the floorboards. Sophia's head snapped up, her eyes locking directly with his through the small opening in the wall. "How long have you been there?" she demanded, her voice instantly transforming from broken to commanding as she quickly composed herself. Jake's face burned with shame. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I was fixing the pipe leak and you saw me. It wasn't a question. I didn't mean to. I was about to announce myself when you decided watching was better." Her eyes were hard now, all traces of tears gone. "No, ma'am. You said something about a maintenance man. About giving everything away to have what he has. I am that maintenance man, and I can promise you, you wouldn't want my life." A tense silence stretched between them, the barrier of the damaged wall symbolic of the vast distance between their worlds. "Come around," she finally said. "We need to talk face to face." Jake's heart hammered as he walked around to her office door, certain he was about to be fired. He found Sophia fully dressed in casual clothes, her perfect mask back in place save for slightly reddened eyes. "You have no idea who I am, do you?" she asked, studying his face. "You're Sophia Archer, CEO of Archer Industries and owner of this building." She shook her head slightly. "No, I mean you don't recognize me personally." Jake was confused. "Should I?" A ghost of a smile touched her lips. "We went to Westlake High together. I sat behind you in advanced chemistry for a year. You never noticed me, I was invisible back then, before the money, before all of this. She gestured to the opulent office around them. Jake stared at her, searching his memory. Sophia, wait, Sophie Andrews? The scholarship girl? She nodded once. I changed my name when I built the company. Andrews didn't have the same ring to it. I had no idea, Jake said, genuinely shocked. He remembered a quiet, brilliant girl who kept to herself, nothing like the powerhouse standing before him now. What I said in there, Sophia continued, her voice measured, about giving it all away to have what you have. I meant it. Jake couldn't help the bitter laugh that escaped him. Ms. Archer. Sophia. Sophia, then. You wouldn't last a day in my shoes. I'm drowning in debt since my wife died. I can barely afford my daughter's school supplies, let alone the therapy she needs to process her grief. I work 3 jobs and still can't make ends meet. Trust me, your problems can't compare. Instead of the anger he expected, compassion filled her eyes. You have something I've never had, Jake. Connection. Purpose. Love. I built this empire to prove something to people who never cared in the first place, and now I have everything and nothing at the same time. The raw honesty in her voice struck him. For the first time, he saw beyond the billionaire facade to the human beneath. Tell me about your daughter, she said suddenly. The request caught him off guard, but Jake found himself talking about Emma, her courage after losing her mother, her love of science experiments that usually ended with something broken, her dream of becoming an astronaut someday. She sounds wonderful, Sophia said when he finished, a genuine smile warming her face. And exactly like her father, the boy who built that incredible lunar habitat model in chemistry class while the rest of us struggled with basic formulas. Jake remembered that project, it had won him a state science award. That was a lifetime ago. Maybe, Sophia said thoughtfully. Or maybe the timing is perfect. Perfect for what? I've been looking for someone to head our new community innovation department. Someone who understands real problems that need solving, not just shareholder demands. The position comes with a substantial salary, flexible hours, and excellent benefits, including therapy services. Jake stared at her, certain he'd misheard. You're offering me a job? Because you caught me accidentally spying on you? She laughed, a real, uninhibited sound that transformed her face. I'm offering you a job because you were brilliant in high school, and based on how you've handled adversity since then, I suspect you've only grown more capable. The fact that you've seen me at my lowest and didn't immediately try to exploit it for gain tells me you have integrity. That's rare in my world. I don't have a business degree. I barely finished community college before Emma was born. I don't need another MBA clone. I need someone who understands what matters to real families. Will you at least consider it? Jake thought of Emma, of pizza nights that wouldn't have to wait for payday, of finally being able to provide the stability she deserved. I'll consider it. That accidental moment through a broken wall changed everything. 6 months later, Jake was leading Archer Industries' fastest-growing division, developing affordable housing solutions and community support programs. Emma was thriving with proper support, and Sophia had found something her money had never been able to buy: genuine friendship. Their unlikely connection blossomed slowly. Sophia became Aunt Sophie to Emma, bringing the wonder of science experiments back into their home. Jake helped Sophia reconnect with the passion for helping others that had driven her before ambition took over. Neither expected romance to develop, but as the barriers between their worlds gradually dissolved, they discovered a deeper connection that healed them both. You know what I've learned? Sophia asked Jake one evening as they watched Emma demonstrating her science fair project in their new living room, a modest house Jake had insisted on buying himself, despite Sophia's offers of more luxurious options. What's that? Jake asked, watching her with a tenderness that still surprised him. That changing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were always meant to be. Jake took her hand, remembering that moment through the wall that had started it all. Sometimes we need someone else to see us clearly before we can see ourselves. Emma looked up from her experiment, beaming at them both. Dad! Sophie! Look what happens when I add this last chemical. As they leaned forward together to witness another small miracle in their unexpected life, Jake realized that sometimes the greatest riches come disguised as our greatest challenges, and that true wealth isn't measured in dollars but in the hearts that hold us dear. If this story touched you, remember that connections that change our lives can happen in the most unexpected moments. Like and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the extraordinary possibilities waiting just around the corner, sometimes literally through the wall. Remember, it's never too late for your own life-changing encounter.